A couple weeks back, it was finally revealed, thanks to those beautiful UK tax documents, just how bad Lucasfilm is at delegating finances. Like, they are awful money people over there, and especially in regards to Star Wars. I think it was fairly obvious. Like, there has been some scuttle over the years about how expensive TFA was. Okay, didn't really hear that much about The Last Jedi. There was obviously a different conversation over the top of that one. But then, of course, when it came to Rise of Skywalker, there was always that conversation that this is like a $500-600 million movie. And then, yeah, back in mid-October, we got the news just how expensive all of this stuff was. And then we could finally, run the numbers and realize that, oh boy, everything that Disney has done outside of Rogue One was a massive loss. Okay, because you just simply look at the budgets on this stuff, right? Like Rogue One. Like, still, okay, cost $327.5 million back in 2016. Like, what the fuck? Last Jedi, $414 million. TFA was $638.9 million a decade ago. In the next couple of weeks, it's going to be celebrating its 10-year anniversary. And how many celebrations does Disney have lined up for it? Exactly. Rise of Skywalker, just about $600 million. And then, of course, Solo still cost a little bit more, $40 million more than Rogue One, and it ended up losing a tremendous amount of money. But yeah, okay, when The Last Jedi and Force Awakens makes over $2 billion. The Last Jedi makes $1.7 billion, and Rogue One also makes over $1 billion. If you spend $600 million on a production, yeah, you can kind of take the hit on that one, knowing that you still made a couple $100 million on a project. That's fine. That's dandy. You can just spin that off and hope that momentum goes. And because you're working on a at the time Star Wars production, you thought that was likely what was going to happen. But thanks to The Last Jedi, you got a quick and fast reality check with Solo, and then of course with Rise of Skywalker making half of what The Force Awakens made. And now fast forward to 2025, where we are 6 years removed from that film, the last cinematic offering from the once biggest cinematic franchise in history. Start to wonder what the fuck is wrong with Lucasfilm out there. Like, you can obviously see that the accountants over there either are running a big short on the studio, or they have a crippling hookers and blow addiction. But this isn't, okay? And once again, thanks to some beautiful UK tax documentation, we start to realize that this isn't just a Star Wars problem. This is a Lucasfilm problem, because, check this one out. This one's absolutely hilarious. Forbes reveals a Disney's deleted Willow series. A series so bad, and a series that Disney was so ashamed of, they pulled it off the platform in less than a year. Hit $17 million per episode. Bro, $17 million for a show that is so bad it's got shit canned. Like, what the fuck, man? Terrible money, people. Disney's deleted Willow series 2020. Wow, 2022 might go down, okay? Like, for as much as there's people out there thinking that TLJ or Force Awakens are going to be reapprised in 10 years, it's just a masterpiece. In 10 years' time, can we look back, even though I'd say this right now, can we look back at 2022 as the worst year in entertainment? Like, you had Rings of Power Season 1, you had She-Hulk, Witcher Season 3, Witcher Blood Origin, Willow. And on the movie side of things, oh my God, was that Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness? It was definitely the Eternals that came out. 2022 was fucking ass, bro. Holy shit. But yes, this comes, via Caroline Reed, who has been doing a lot of this UK tax stuff. The author cites filings from Barking Lion Production Studio, subsidiary of Disney, in order to back up its claims. Being more economical than its neighbors at Marvel and Star Wars, the cost of Willow came in at $136.3 million, which is still fucking wild. The show only aired, for one season before Disney pulled the plug in 2023, along with several other series on D+. Filings from the studios indicate that the second season was in production, but had been abandoned. Really? These cancellations didn't slip quietly into the night, however, as Tony Gilroy alleged that Disney appeared to have lost faith in streaming. Yeah, Tony Gilroy, the showrunner for Andor, who got $700 million to do his show, which, is still a lot, but you also take a look at the production value of that show, and then you just start to chop it up, and you realize that, okay, he was given way too much money, but he actually put all of that money on screen. Okay, but anyways, simultaneously, former Willow actors have publicly shared their candid opinions regarding the company's actions. That, yeah, hey man, the check's cash, but at the same time, whoo boy. But hey, Warwick Davis, whenever he's asked about it, he really wants Willow back out there, mostly because the only way that you can get it is by sailing the high seas. Yar har. But yes, Willow, $17 million per episode is absolutely insane. And of course, to cap off the triumvirate of Lucasfilm IPs, you got Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. This ended up coming out a year later in 2023, another abominable year for entertainment, and we already know that, yeah, this thing was an absolute catastrophic flop because it was terrible. It was an awful film. But how big of a flop was it? Well, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny soar past $400 million, cementing it as one of Disney's biggest flops. Yep. Congratulations. Just when it seemed like the damage from James Mangold's Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny couldn't get any worse, a new report from Forbes' Caroline Reed, here she is again, has confirmed that Disney's spending on the film ballooned past the $400 million mark. I mean, yeah, if you know anything about the production of this, it totally makes sense. That eye-popping cost figure officially cements the fifth Indiana Jones installment, not just as a box office disappointment, but one of Disney's most costly failures of all time. Reed's reporting tracks Disney's financial filings and UK tax incentives, yes, tied to the movie's lengthy production. It's a rare look behind the curtain, and well, let's take a look here. According to Reed, Disney poured more than $400 million into the film's production and reshoots before accounting for marketing. She details the studio even claimed a $66.7 million UK tax reimbursement, demonstrating just how inflated the production's budget had become. This makes Dial of Dysentery one of the most expensive films ever produced. This is consistent with earlier reports that pegged the movie's budget between $295 and $387 million. By comparison, the film grossed just $384 million worldwide, failing to even cover its production spent, let alone the marketing blitz that accompanied the release. Holy fuck, this was marketed to hell and back. It was probably the biggest marketing push of the entire summer. I don't think I'm overselling that. This shit was everywhere. Analysts had previously estimated losses around $130 million for Disney, but the confirmation of the $400 million budget shows how devastating the gap truly was. And I mean, yeah, you can kind of see the writing was on the wall on this one. You have, what, an 85-year-old Harrison Ford, you have box office poison and Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Why can't you just take the L and move on? I know the character of Indiana Jones is very near and dear to Harrison Ford's heart, but he wanted to give the character a proper send-off. You at least had that at the end of Crystal Skull, but no, you wanted to come back and show him as a divorced loser whose son hated him so much he went and got himself killed in the Vietnam War. Like, oh my god. Such a hateful, spiteful, evil movie. Not quite as spiteful as the man himself as Harrison Ford blasts Trump in an unhinged political meltdown. Why, dude, why are you doing this? Okay, like, again, Harrison Ford is a legend. I love the man. As an actor, it's just, you wonder why your movies flop? It's because people are tired of shit like this, even from a geriatric. I don't know a greater criminal in history. The fuck, man? Just put down the fucking dope for a second and properly assess your world. What are you doing, Harrison? Star Wars and Indiana Jones star Harrison Ford blasted President Trump this week in the latest Hollywood political meltdown, calling him one of the greatest criminals in history. How? Why? I guess, okay, whenever we're going into Trump criticism, whenever we're going into TDS land, don't anticipate anything really making sense. Harrison Ford, played some of the most beloved heroes in cinema history, and multiple times over the President of the United States. Speaking to The Guardian, Ford unloaded on the 45 and 47, yes, while discussing climate policy. Of course, man. Trump doesn't have any policies. He has whims. It scares the shit out of me. Is it more or less frightening than seeing the nose of your Cessna just heading and careening towards the ground? Something you have seen a remarkable number of times. Anyways, the ignorance, the hubris, the lies, the perfidy. Trump knows better, but he's an instrument of the status quo, and he's making money hand over fist. So funny, right? Because can we name another president who left the White House worse off economically than they went in? Because there's only one in recent history that didn't come out considerably more wealthy than they went in, but I digress. Well, while the world goes to hell in a handbasket, it's unbelievable. I don't know, greater criminal in history. Ford followed up. Everything he said about climate change has come true. Really? Oh wow, Florida's underwater. The ice caps have all melted. Mount Kilimanjaro is snowless year-round. Wow, yeah, all of it came true. Why is that not sufficient to alarm people that they change behaviors? Because we're entrenched in the status quo. Oh no, he's looping. He's like Boogie. And he later added he's losing ground because everything he says is a lie. You just said that everything that was said about climate change came true, bro. Like, what are we doing? Ford eventually pivoted to a message of hope saying, I'm confident we can mitigate against climate change. Yeah, that's nice, man. Just fucking blow the smoke. Just crack a window, blow the smoke outside, and perhaps you'll be able to see clearly. Just let Grandpa go and just, act in his Yellowstone spinoff. I hear that he's really good in that. Just, don't ask him back to be Red Hulk ever again. Just let him and Callista Flockhart just yell about the Orange Man, waiting for their grandkids to come over. It's fine. It's great. You're a legend. I love the only 3 Indiana Jones films. They're tremendous. They're the second best trilogy that's out there. And the reason why your new movies that are coming out fucking flop and are disasters is because you can't keep your mouth shut and because Lucasfilm can't budget a film or a production to save their lives. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.